Who jumps out of perfectly good airplanes in the name of science? Mr. C.
Well, welcome back, 7th, 8th graders. It has been a great spring break for moi. I hope it has been a great spring break pour vous. So I'm sure you have many SSRs to report. And speaking of SSRs, we will speak of SSRs in a little bit. So, and you've got your journal, of course. That's not a surprise. Mr. C, we knew you were going to right away say journals. Well, I have to. What can I say? And then homework in your lesson planner. Your homework is, here's what it is. You are going to write up some bullet facts about the in-class video that you're going to see. That's it for homework for starters. So easy homework assignment, easy 10 points if you do an awesome job, and I will get to that in a little bit. So anyway, I have personal good news. Something really cool happened over spring break to me, and it's kind of a scientific method experiment. Let me show you. So I was doing some research on vitamins, aka supplements. Your parents, your grandparents, I'm sure, take a boatload of supplements, vitamins and then minerals, to really help them their bodies to be more healthy. I do as well, my wife does as well. So, and especially during this COVID season, it's really important to do everything you can, that I can, to take care of my immune system. So, hello, immune system. So, to battle or to fight the COVID virus. So, here was my science method experiment. Which supplement may support my immune system? That's the problem. That's the problem step. Hypothesis. I had a few hypotheses. I'm thinking zinc, vitamin D, vitamin C, those at the minimum would help my immune system. So let me check my hypothesis. That's my hypothesis, my scientific guess, and then the dependent or the control variables, the ones we kept the same. All of these were standard, well-known supplements, vitamins and minerals, and then I had to study them, research them, to see which one seemed to be efficacious. There's a big fat vocab word for you. Efficacious, to see which ones would be efficacious. That means effective. There's your synonym. Effective in supporting your immune system. So here are some for starters. So one of my hypotheses was vitamin C, and I've been taking vitamin C, and look what it says on there. May support the immune system. So check. I'm writing down data. How about vitamin C? It is a possibility. Here's another one. Vitamin B12. So I looked it over, I researched it, and it doesn't say specifically that it would help the immune system. But I'm going to come back to it in a minute and talk about a potential indirect way that vitamin B12 could help. Now, by the way, of course, you can't start popping these vitamins and minerals. Many of you are taking these already per your parents' instruction and permission. So anyway, I hope you are actually, because a number of these help. Vitamin C, like I already said, is a yes. Here's another one. Vitamin D3. So, and look what it says. It says down at the bottom, see that? it says immune health. Check. So it checks the box. So that's a yes. All right, what else? Super B complex vitamins. And look what it says. You see that? Probably you can't, but again, helps support the immune system, the B complex vitamins. Check. Mr. C, have you been taking all three of those? You betcha. Here's another one. Zinc. The chemical symbol, the element symbol is Zn, zinc. And look what it says. Supports immune system, turn it so everybody can see it. Supports immune system function. And then it says immune health. So check. There's another one. So there's 4 so far that help. So I've been taking those. I've actually been taking another one called NAC, N-acetylcysteine. Some of your parents, grandparents might be taking that as well. It comes highly recommended. So anyway, there are several other minerals that I'm taking. This is B12. Now, while B12 doesn't specifically help the immune system, here's what it does. It aids in the production of RBCs, red blood cells. So it aids in the production of red blood cells. So really, really important. So anyway, I'll continue. The one variable not controlled, the variables controlled were all of the standard vitamins and minerals that could aid in the immune system health. Take those as part of the experiment. And I have been taking all of those for over a year. So a year ago March, when COVID popped up, I heard a number of doctors say, take these to help your immune system. So I have been. The one variable not controlled, of course, different supplements. So, and then the data was zinc, yes, vitamin C, yes, vitamin D, yes, NAC, N-acetylcysteine, yes, and then the B complex vitamins, yes. Vitamin B12, not specifically, so no, but indirectly could help because red blood cells, what do red blood cells do? They pick up oxygen in your lungs, right? In your little air sacs, your alveoli. So indirectly it could help. Keeping oxygenated, really important. So, and then the other thing that relates to this new hair growth that I'm sporting right now. So is this. I discovered that vitamin B12 really supports healthy hair growth. So no wonder. So just an amazing, miracles can happen. Mr. C, you just had 9 days. I know. 9 days. And it's a miracle. So anyway, really cool. Now you 8th graders, I know many of you 8th graders who have already had genetics are going, you can't fool me, Mr. C. I know that with blonde hair, often what color eyes go with blonde hair. It's usually a Northern Europe, Scandinavian kind of a thing. The blonde hair goes along with blue eyes, which I'm not exactly sporting today. So anyway, so I thought I'd have a little fun with all of that. So, and then go over the scientific method at the same time. So fun. So I hope you got a little smile out of it. It gave me a little smile. So I wanted to tell you about further good news. No test this week. No test. It's a half day Wednesday. Further good news. So that's really good news. And then a number of you didn't take the March 12th test right before spring break that Friday. So you've got to make that up. You have to. You've got to get it done by Friday. So make arrangements with Mr. Phillip if you didn't take it. And I have further good news. For it looked to me like some people already were on spring break before the tests began. So it looked like some people were going, I'm not really going to study for this test much. Spring break's almost here, who cares? So, and it looked like the tests that I've graded so far, I'll get the rest graded this week. So it looked like the test graded so far that a higher percentage than normal didn't care much. So therefore, what happened to the grades? Woo! Now that's a hypothesis. I could be wrong, but it looked like. So here's a story. If you scored in the 70s or lower, I'm going to let you retake it. You can do a retake only this week, though. That offer is on the table only this week. So you can do a retake on it this week. So get her done with Mr. Phillip. Now I'm going to average the two scores. I'm not going to throw out your low score unless it's so low that it's impossible to get into the 60s or 70s. It'll be my decision. So teacher decision. But at least I'm giving you a shot if you had a really low score on raising your grade. You're welcome. So you're welcome, little Moana. So I've watched it a lot with my grandkids, and I actually like Moana. So I really like the music. Some of you might too. Mr. C, what's wrong with you? Hey, I like the Moana music. The story's a little, iffy, but it's cute. So anyway, I love the South Seas. I love all the plumeria floating around that flower. So, and I'm wishing you a happy equinox. On the let's see, when exactly was it? Yesterday, I think, officially. 20th was the equinox. So remember what happens on the equinox. Mr. C, this would be a perfect spot for you to pull out your sun, moon, and Earth model. Looky here, I just happen to have it. Aren't you happy and excited? I mean, how many more opportunities am I going to have, to show any of my students this most favorite model of mine? I've had this model for 45 years, 46 years of my teaching career, of the 51. So anyway, I want to just point out a few things, okay? The seasons, the Earth is tilted, okay? So the Earth is tilted. So right now, we're in the equinox right over, let's see, I got to be over on this side, yeah. So we are like right over here, where the sun is shining directly on the equator right now, about 12 hours and 12 hours of daylight, 12 hours of darkness. I could move it over on this side too. So same deal. Okay. So, and my relatives in Australia are having the first day of yesterday of fall. So they're just the opposite of us. So their days are getting shorter, ours are getting longer. Now, 5 days ago, what was it? 5 days ago, we had sunrise at 6:36 a.m. and sunset 6:37. So just a 1 minute difference. So that was sort of like Phoenix's personal equinox. Remember equinox, nox, night or day, equal night and day is what it means. Okay? So, and I want to tell you one other thing too, and then I'm going to ask you to pray. So, when we have a La Nina, which we've had this year, it's extra dry. Remember? Extra dry when we have a La Nina. So, it's dry and warmer. So, I'm still praying for a couple of wet storms yet, like we had last year. It's possible. We had 2 wet storms over spring break that dumped 1.5 feet more than that in the high country. So unexpected, so that was a blessing. That was one that we had prayed for. Lord, bring us a couple more really wet storms in the high country. How about, Lord, would you bring us a 3-footer or two of snow in the high country? That would really help out. Our lake levels are okay. They're good, not great. So, but the Verde River continues to be really low. The Verde River watershed, not so good. The Salt River watershed, still a lot of snow on it and a lot of water to dump into the Salt River, which will go down to Roosevelt Lake. So that's good. Saguaro Lake, Canyon Lake, the Salt River lakes. So anyway, so Australia right now is having a La Nina. When we have a La Nina, dry and warm. When they have a La Nina, cool and wet. And it's been raining so much down in Australia that where my daughter lives in the western suburbs of Sydney, the biggest city in Australia, they're having flooding. Their major river, the Nepean River, is flooding. Now my one daughter Lisa lives, I want to say, a mile to a mile and a half from the Nepean River. So we've been praying that the water level would drop in the Nepean. So far it has. We're praying that the rain would abate. That means it would lessen and stop. It's supposed to keep raining for a few days. But Lord, we're asking, please, we ask that you would cause the rains to stop. Because they've had to open up the floodgates on their major dam. It would be like Roosevelt for us. If they have to release water out of Roosevelt, it goes into the Salt River. And in the past, like 40 years ago, there was major flooding. So major flooding in the Salt River, right through Phoenix. So anyway, if you'd pray for the people in the western suburbs, the rural areas of Sydney, that the rain would stop and that they'd quit releasing water out of Warragamba Dam, it's called. So anyway, please keep praying for that, for my daughter. I would really appreciate it. Thank you. I'm very grateful for that. Okay, I'm checking the time, then I'm going to tell you about your homework, and I'm going to turn you over for your homework. Now, we just did creation evolution right before spring break. We'll continue to review it. You know, fossils, no tweeners, no ape men. Old age, there's tremendous evidence for a young age, therefore there's not enough time for evolution. Accident pillar, law of cause and effect, doesn't work. Law of biogenesis, life can only come from life, doesn't work. Then the M pillar mutations, rare, harmful, fatal, doesn't work. And then natural selection, doesn't work. It doesn't cause major change in the kinds. It doesn't cause animals to go from one kind to another. It causes changes within a kind, different kinds of crocodiles, different kinds of elephants, different kinds. Sure, but you don't get any new kind. So God built the variability in the genes. That's normal. Different DNA. So that's a normal thing. It doesn't prove evolution at all. It's not evolution. No matter how numerous they may be, remember what the one French scientist said, no matter how numerous they may be, mutations don't cause any kind of evolution. And then the Big Bang evidence, where'd the particles come from? Why would they attract? Why would they cause rotation? Why would they cause complexity? Why would they cause just right kind of things to happen? Why would they cause specificity? They wouldn't. So it makes no sense. The Big Bang's just silliness. So, but anyway, scientists don't, the majority of scientists don't want to go with God made everything, which makes way more sense. So if you've got creation, you've got a creator. If you've got a design, you've got to have a designer. So, but they don't want to go with that because they don't want to believe in God. Then they'll have to somehow account for their sins. They want to live the way they want. Don't tell me how to live. Well, that's what God does in the Bible. Tells us how to live. I don't want to be told how to live. Okay, that's a scary proposition. But anyway, so the majority of scientists have decided they don't want to believe in God, so then they go with the silliness, which there's not good data for, but we're going to go with it anyway. We're going to go with make-believe stuff. So we're going to go with There's no engine in the Ferrari, but oh yeah, it drives really well and really fast. Yeah, right. So, and I am Superman. Sure. Superman, sure you are, Mr. C. Well, anyway, so I just want to point out probably my 3 New Testament favorite books in the New Testament. Probably John 1, which talks about Jesus making everything. Colossians 1 talks about Jesus making everything. And Hebrews chapter 1, guess what it talks about? You guessed it, Chester, Jesus making everything. Same thing. That's the truth, folks. Jesus made everything. We've got the science. Evolutionists say, well, you guys don't have any science. Oh, no, we've got all the science. You see, you've got to understand something. Science is just discovering what Jesus did when he created everything. That's what science is. But scientists go making up stuff, making up data, not telling the truth about the data, really, not admitting the data. Like Stephen Jay Gould said, when he said the extreme rarity of transitional forms, tweeners, in the fossil record persists, continues to this day, for there to be extremely rare, he's saying extreme rare probability of tweeners or ape men. He's going, He was a fossil expert, a paleontologist, and he admitted they don't have the tweeners, or they don't have the ape men that they ought to have if evolution actually happened. So we've got all the science, and we've got all the biblical truth. Okay, we've got double barrel stuff. We got, there's one gun right there. Show it off, Mr. C. That's all you get. Okay, so we've got the Bible, and on the other side we've got the science. We got it all. So anyway, you don't need to listen to anybody going, oh yeah, evolution is so true, it makes so sense. Just go, oh please, please. Be kind. Pray for people that say that kind of thing, but they're not using their noggin, and they know it. They're talking through their heart. They don't want to believe. Their belief, it's where they believe in their soul and spirit. They don't want to believe, so it's affected their head, their noggin. It's sad. Sad, sad, sad. So anyway, well, I better get after it here on the homework. Okay? So I'm going to show you a wonderful video. This is such a cool video. Now you've got a white sheet, and on that white sheet, you are going to give me 10 of the most beautiful, neat, complete bullet facts that you've ever given in your whole life. So they're going to go down on this. Why would that be, Mr. C? Because you want full credit. You want 10 points. There's going to be a series of 10 pointers this week. No test, remember. No quiz. No pop quiz? Nope. Nope, nope. I promise. No pop quiz. So no quiz or test. In some ways, quizzes and tests are good because they give you an opportunity to get a lot of points. You know, if you triple R. Like next week, for instance, when you have a test that'll be a combination of what we go over this week and next week. So on your white sheet, here's what you're going to do. You, as you watch this video, and Mr. Phillip will stop it right in the middle. It's a short video. So you are going to put down the following. First, you're going to put down 4 new atomic particles that you haven't heard of, or they're new. You can't use protons, neutrons, or electrons. Don't even think about it, or I'll count off a point each. I want 4 new atomic particles that atoms are made of. 4. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4. So I want, after that, I want 2 of the mysteries that scientists admit to on this video. And Mr. Phillip can stop it and say, hey, there's a mystery right there. I don't care if he does that. So, and let you write them. I want 2 mysteries that scientists say they don't have any answer for. So 4 new particles, 2 mysteries, and then I want 2 divine designs, so that's 8 points. Bullet facts, not 1 or 2 word bullet facts, but complete bullet facts. And then I want 1 random bullet fact that you learned that you thought was cool. And then I want your overall impression of the whole video. Just as you watched it, what was your overall impression of it? What were you thinking? And you won't offend me, whatever you put. Now don't write down it stunk, because it doesn't stink. It's very cool. It's very interesting. It's really cool and really interesting. And you can't put that down. It was really cool. Nope, no point. It was really interesting. Nope, nope, nope. I want a bit more than that. How did it strike you as you watched this 5-something minute video? What was your overall impression? That's the last one. So here it is. Again, 4 new particles, 2 of the mysteries, 2 divine designs, and then 1 random bullet fact, just something really interesting that you learned, and then your overall impression. That's number 10. Just as you watched it, what did your brain tell you about it? Now, it can't be negative. Can't be negative. Okay, I'm going to turn you loose, and you'll have 10 minutes to work on this, and Mr. Phillip can stop it about halfway through and let you catch up a little bit if you need to. So I'll see you on Tuesday, and it's good to see you all back, and I'm praying for you, and you do the same for me and for my relatives down in Australia, especially my daughters. Thank you. See you tomorrow on Tuesday.